Hello everyone, it's Julie from Camelia Crafts Designs. I've got a one sheet wonder for you today. It's not from 12 by 12 inch paper like I usually use. It's from either a sheet of US letter size or a sheet of A4, which is what we use in UK and Europe. It's just slight differences. To be honest, any large rectangular piece would work. I'll show you a little tip that'll let you adapt this for any rectangular piece of paper, or indeed any square, or just any piece of paper if you've got a few scraps to go with it as well. So what have we got? I'm going to do a little bit of a mass make of them, get quite a few done so that you can then decorate them up as you put them in journals. It's just this. So it's ideal if you've got paper that's only got printing on one side. So if it's white on the back, which this was, I've just inked up the bits there. Yep, can you see? Totally white on the inside. And it's got, well, 1, 2, 3, 4 pockets. I've made it quite slimline because I want mine to tuck into a couple of journals that I've got on the go. I've made this one particularly for the journal that I've been decorating. Yeah, that one will go in perfect. So even though that's got all its little tags in, it's still got a very slim profile. So let's crack on. Right, because I am in the UK, we don't have letter size paper. So I've cut a piece of 12 by 12 down. In fact, look, that's the cover sheet from A House of Roses by Stamperia. But you won't see this at all, this side, so it doesn't matter that that's on there. So I've cut this down to 11 by 8.5, which is what your size is. The UK size A4 is 11 and it's just short 11 3/4 by about 8 1/4, I think. Yeah, just a smidgen over 8 1/4. I don't know how we have that size. It doesn't even work out right in millimeters. It's just weird. So I'll make one out of each. I've got all sorts of paper here. Do you know when you print kits out and you've got loads of sheets left over? This is an ideal project to use those up on. I've got all sorts. Yeah, I did make one. That's a little one with a sheet. I just cut the white edges off and it still worked. In fact, I think this one's part. Yeah, I didn't glue it together. So, yeah, that's what your inside looks like. We're going to glue that one to make a pocket. We'll put a couple of little pockets on here, a side pocket on there, and that's it. We've got it. So, Bob will indeed be your uncle. So, white papers you're going to use again, woman. You've covered them up with all sorts. What am I like? Ooh, I might use one of them. I'm going to use that instead of the pink one. Don't ask me who these papers are by. I haven't got the foggiest idea, because they've been in my stash for ages. I can tell you odd one or two, but I've no idea who that is. I think that one may have even come from Creative Fabrica. Right, let's do the letter size one first. Not a lot of measuring to do either. So get your piece of paper. This would be the wrong side that you don't want showing. And just fold it in half. There we go. Could cut before you fold, but if I fold first I can cut it with my smaller chopper. So here's my chopper. Right, then we're going to cut it down to 5.5 inches. Right, decide if you're going to have 5.5 inches. Do you want the top part or do you want the bottom part? I don't know, I just don't want to chop that birdie in half. We can't have that part, can we? Because I'll chop my birdie in half. That won't be very nice to the birdie. I'm hoping that birdie's going to end up on front. Now, that weren't planned, but I think it's going to happen. So, cut that down to 5.5. Then this leftover piece is what we're going to use to make our pockets. Put trim away for a second. Now, these two pieces, you want to fold that one into the centre. But you don't want to fold right up to the crease, just back a little bit, about 1/16 to 1/8 of an inch. In fact, I'll ink that inside so that you can see better where the crease is. There we go. So can you see now? I'm just about 1/16 of an inch before that crease. I tend to use the actual crease to straighten everything up. Then I just hutch it back a little bit. That just makes sure everything's going to fold nicely and things aren't going to get stuck in each other's way. That's that. Grab your bone folder, woman. That's that. This is going to be a really nice one. I'm going to like this one. Right. So I've had a lot of people ask about, oh, it'd be nice to see a one sheet wonder where you don't need any extra bits to make pockets. Well, you don't on this. And what about those sheets of paper where it's white on the other side? And if you're printing your own off, it's going to save you a lot of ink if you don't have to print the other side. I do on a lot. I mean, that you can see some of the writing. I'm not too bothered about that. I'm just going to put a bit more ink on it. A bit more ink. There we go. You don't know that that's writing. In fact, it doesn't really matter, does it? Right, we're going to open that up now. We're going to take this piece. Now we are going to have a teeny tiny bit of waste, but don't worry too much. Now, one of these pieces we're going to put on that back page as a side pocket. Not yet, it's a little bit longer, so we're going to have to trim a bit off and waste it, but it's not even a piece that's going to be big enough to do anything with. I think I want to use that piece, and I'm going to leave that rose to become my centre pockets here. So I'm going to cut this. Now I like it with the 8.5 by 11 because look, that is exactly the right length for that pocket. It don't work out quite so perfect with A4, but it still works. So that's going to be my pocket there. Let me ink that as well. If I ink these creases, you can see them better, can't you? Now, I'm only going to talk you through the first one, then I'm just going to waffle while I make some more. Because waffling is, yeah, what I'm good at. Right, leave your chopper out, woman, you're going to need it. So I need to cut this down. Do I want to? I'm going to cut that edge off. I don't know, I don't like that blurry edge much. So I'm just measuring it against that pocket. Because measuring and getting numbers, no, can't be doing that anymore. If you're unsure, cut a bit less off than you think you need. You can always cut a bit more off. Oh, that looks perfect to me. Perfect. Now this one is going to make the two pockets and that centre. I'll glue these on before we make the centre pockets. Then you'll be able to visualise what I'm actually doing a bit better. I don't think I'm being my clearest today. So that's going to fold up and be, that's perfect with that bird on front, isn't it? I love that. It will open up, that will be a full height pocket. So I'm going to get my circle punch and just punch a little notch out at the top. There we go. We'll ink it. Can't beat a bit of inking. Hey, has anyone been watching? I don't know talk about what I'm watching currently on telly, but oh, Mamma Mia, if you're in UK, there's this. I don't normally like these kind of shows, but I love Mamma Mia. I love it. It's one of these shows where it's a contest for two people to win roles win roles for London stage play of Mamma Mia, the musical. And they're auditioning a Sophie in a Sky. Oh, and it's been amazing. Completely disagree with some of judges' decisions, like, but what do they know? They know nothing. I know everything. When it comes to Mamma Mia, I am not Jon Snow. That's that. Which pocket gone? We're going to have that blurry edge there or there. I think I'll have a blurry bit there. I don't like that blurry bit. So I'm going to put a little thumb notch in there. No, I'm going to change my mind just because I can. And I'm a woman and that's what we do. So, Oh, you can see a number 12 there, but I'm not going to spit my dummy out because of that. I can live with that. Let's get this inked up as well. Yeah. They've been singing some fabulous songs. They've been singing some stupid songs as well. Some people, if you're in UK and you've been watching it, it'd be interesting to know if you agree with me. Right, I'm going to glue this on. Like so. So I'm going to glue along there, down there and along there. So I'll hold it on that side. Yeah, it's like they had singing duets last night. And some of them got to sing classic songs from musical. Like one from Chicago. Then one gets to sing a Meghan Trainor song. I'm not being funny, but Meghan Trainor? It's like a pop song. I can't even tell you what song we're called. If I knew, I've forgot already. It's like, yeah, can we not have a level playing field, please? It'd be like Great British Bake Off, which I know you people in the US call it the Great British Baking Show. It'd be like one having to bake a cake and another one having to, I don't know, make egg and chips and then be judged against each other. It's absolutely crazy. Right, I like that. Now this one I'm going to glue down that side and along bottom. That's another thing, don't even get me started. Great British Baking Show. In UK we call it the Great British Bake Off. Yeah, we do. And I read something on my Google news feed this week that the Colin the Caterpillar cake, no, the Caterpillar cake, I don't think we called him Colin because that's trademarked by Marks and Spencer's, the company who make the Caterpillar with the name Colin. It's like he must not be named, isn't it? Yeah, people in America were shocked apparently that we all eat Caterpillar cakes for his birthdays. But I've got to say, it is a classic thing. My daughter had a Caterpillar cake for her birthday last year on the 16th because that's what she wanted. And she wants one again. Ooh, she wanted one again this year, but we didn't get to town to get one. So what did she have this year? Do you know, I can't remember. Oh, they had donuts, birthday donuts from Krispy Kreme. They'd just done the Halloween box special, so I ordered them an Halloween box to share for the birthday. They enjoyed it. Right, what we've got here. So I've got to make these two middle pockets now, and that is just well, you know, it's the perfect size to make two pockets because look at it. So I think, I'm just wondering, I may be able to use that side on that one for that pocket. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to cut it in half first because that's what we need to do. Get your teeny tiny trimmer out, woman. Your dinky dinky one. So this should be 6 inches long. It might be a smidgen more than 6. I'm just going to cut it in half to start off with. I'm going to cut it into 2 pieces, 3 inch wide. I've done that wrong, haven't I? I'm not playing with 12 by 12. I've just mucked it up now by cutting that the wrong size. Yeah, you need to cut that in half. Cut it in half because your pocket is actually, silly woman, it's actually 2 3/4. Yeah, like a 12 by 12 paper thing. I got myself confused with paper and I'm talking constantly. So not to worry, all I'm going to do is I'm going to turn that round. Luckily it's a piece that is going to look good either way, isn't it? So if I turn that round, I can still have that one that way. Yeah, that's going to look good. In fact, I might have that bottom and I might have that one. Yeah, I like it that way better. Yeah, I do. Now I'm going to have to be very careful when I put my little thumb notch in because I'm not going to have a lot of room for this now without it showing piece underneath. So I'm going to put a very small thumb notch in this one. Very small indeed. There we go. So, again, we don't want to have to throw baby out with bathwater, do we? I've made a mistake. The world did not indeed end. I'm going to have to trim that down a little bit because it's too wide. We said it was 2 3/4 inches wide, didn't we? Because I've already put my little divot in, I'm going to take a little bit off each side to make it 2 3/4. But like I say, I'll make a bit more. I've got a feeling it's not quite. It might be an 1/8, so like 2 7/8. I don't know why I think that, but I do. No, it's 2 3/4. You were right first time, woman. Don't doubt yourself. What does it say on your wall? I may be wrong, but I doubt it. I don't know why. That is sarcastic, actually, because I am often wrong. Now, I'll cut this one to 2 3/4 inches wide as well. I want that little bit of a rose left on. I don't know why, I just do. So 2 3/4. Ooh, yeah. That'll just do it. And I'm going to cut another little notch out of the top. Whee! Here we go. How long have we been? I've been 16 minutes. I've done an awful lot of waffling. I've told you about my papers. I've made a mistake. I've put it right. So yeah, these are pretty quick to make. You could perhaps get half a dozen done in an hour. If you're a lot faster than me, you could perhaps get a dozen done in an hour. And then you've got them ready to grab from. My stocks of little bits and bobs like this that aren't ready decorated are very low. So if my New Year's resolution is going to be to make more journals, I need to get these things stocked up. Yeah, so that's that. I'm just going to ink any bits here that I've missed, because we might see a smidgen if I don't put my pocket right to edge, just to make up for my little mistake. Right, let's glue these on. Am I still having that one at the bottom, or I don't know. I think I want the rose at the bottom. Yeah, put rose at the bottom, woman. So I'm going to glue that top one on first, because that's going to overlap and it's going to glue slightly onto there. Now you can either put glue down each side and then you've got a long back pocket, or you can put glue down each side and along the bottom of that to make 2 short pockets. That is entirely up to you. I've done some either way and I can't remember which ones I've done which way. Whee. So, just short at crease either side. Not quite up to the top either, missus. You said that, didn't you? There you go. Then this one I need to go down each side and along the bottom. Hold it on your divot. It's not even a divot. A divot is a chunk or a lump of grass, isn't it? Whee. And pop that one on there. Not quite at the bottom. Oh, that's it. Oh, those 2 bits of rose nearly match. That wasn't planned. And one's sideways and one's not, but it just looks like we've got another little rose poking through. So that's that. Da, da, da. And that will slip, because this is scrapbook paper, which is a bit thicker, it's still a pretty low profile. And you can slip that into any junk journal pocket. You can go to town with it. You could decide to give this as a standalone gift. You could put extra little pockets on front, but you are of course going to need more paper for that. There's only so much you can get out of one sheet, isn't there? One sheet. Yeah, pretty much turned out perfect, that, as far as the placement of that bird goes. And I thought the bird was going to be on the inside. I don't know why I thought that. No, I thought the roses would be on the front and the bird on the back. So, like I said, I'm quite often wrong. Got to ink that last one. Everyone happy who likes inking. You know who I mean. Right, so there we go. And as far as decorating it goes, you put anything you want in it. That one, if you did want to give it as a gift, especially if you made it from Christmas paper, that will fit a gift card perfectly. I've got a business card here that's the same size as a gift card. That fits absolutely perfectly. if I come to this one that I did decorate, I don't know if these tags will fix. This was an A4 one. Can you see? Because our paper is taller. It's 3/4 of an inch taller. The whole thing ends up being about 1/3 of an inch bigger. Yeah, I've put tall tags in there. Oh, it might just fit. No, a bit too wide. So your tags need to be tailor-made to your whichever one you've done. So there we have it. I'm going to pop that to one side and we're going to count that as one. Now I'm going to make another. This time I'm going to make it from this. This is A4 paper. So it's exactly the same method. This one is printed on back. I tend to just print a neutral pattern on the back of mine a lot at the time. I don't like it being stark white, you know, if I'm printing as a journal page. So it's the same thing, fold it in half. Now what you basically want is, measure this, and that's 5 3/4 of an inch. So that's the length of that. So if you measure from the top of your paper, cut at 5 3/4, then you know that is going to be long enough. Yeah? But sometimes it ends up being a little bit narrow. Like, the height will be good, but then it'll be too narrow, so you'll have a short pocket. If you've got a scrap of paper to cover that up, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to cut this one to 5 1/2. Yeah, it seems to work okay if we cut it to 5 1/2, just like we did with the US letter size paper. So do I want the top or do I want the bottom? I think I'm going to cut that big flower off. Because it's going to end, I don't know where it'll end up. We're not sure. I'm not good at visualising that today. So 5 1/2 inches, cut it. Yeah. Then exactly the same. I will ink my middle. I'm going to go a bit quicker through this one. So yeah, regardless of if you've got printed digits that have had a white border on or not, it'll work. It'll work. The 5 1/2 inch mark is if you've got a full sheet of A4 or letter. If your rectangle is a bit smaller because you've cut white edges off, take it down to about 5 1/4 inches high, or even 5 inches high. I'll do one in this session. In fact, I did do one actually, and I'll measure it. That were it. What did I do? I made it 5 1/8 high. That was a sheet where it had white edges. So I made it 5 1/8 and it still worked. So we've got that. Now this, go on, open up. Oh, I think I'll put the flower there. Now if you look at it, with the A4, it's still not quite deep enough. So all I do is trim a little bit off that side, so that pocket's going to be a little bit smaller. I'm quite happy with doing that. I'll get my trimmer. Like I said, with most of these, you're going to trim tiny bits off and lose them, but they're not bits that are going to be big enough to use for anything. If you're someone who likes to glue everything on first, then trim it with trizzers. Trizzers? What on earth are trizzers? Sounds more like trousers, doesn't it? Donald, where's your trizzers? I'm going to cut that in half. I'm going to do it just by taking a sliver off, because I can on that tiny trimmer. How tiny is that? I'm going to use, yeah, we'll use that big blue one. Okay, yeah, that's... Oh, I might have to trim a little bit. I might have trimmed a little bit too much off now. Yeah, so I'm going to have to trim a bit off that. I went a bit mad, because we don't want that to go right up to the crease when we glue it on, because it will interfere with the page turning. Yeah, we're going to have to just cut a smidgen off there. I'll take it off that end. I'm guesstimating this now. Oh, that were a good guesstimate. Just a sliver more. that's that. I'm not inking this one apart from those creases. I don't always ink everything anyway. I have phases, I don't know if you're the same. Sometimes I want to ink, sometimes I don't want to ink. Which way around shall I have that? I'll have it that way. Yeah. Where's your hole punch? What size am I using? 1 1/4, because I know somebody will ask me that, but I use whatever size comes to hand first. There we go. I'm just going to curl that. There you go, so it doesn't stick up on edges. Right, I'm going to get my glue. Oh, I've had a few questions lately about art glitter glue. Yeah, someone asked me, why am I using glitter glue? It's because I've fallen into the habit of thinking everybody knows what I'm on about, and they don't. Art glitter, I'll show it you because I've had my big one out here to fill up. Art Glitter Designer Dries Clear Adhesive. It's a brand and it's really good for sticking glitter. It's the most confusing name for a glue ever, but it's fabulous. I've been using the same bottle now for about 2 years. Same. Is it half a litre, that bottle? Or is it? Yeah, almost half a litre, 16 fluid ounces. And I decant into these bottles because I use far less than. She says, squeezing it too hard and I'm getting too much out. Yeah, I use less, waste less, saves me money. It's less messy for me crafting. So yep, that's what I do. So stick that on there. Yeah, looks good. I'm going to take a little divot out of the top there. And I'm going to glue down the side on the bottom, which I've now said a good few times. Whee! Yeah, I was watching, while I was waking up this morning, I was watching Tina at Shabby Dabby Doodah, and she normally does a mask make on a Monday, and I thought, ooh, I want to do a mask make. So I'll link Tina as well. So if you like to watch a good mask make, because I know it's not something I'll be doing every week. I think Tina, it is a Monday Tina does one. I was watching her yesterday's video, I think. She was doing an eclectic desk journal. She's the only person with messier desk than me. Well, not messier, she's got more stuff on it, but that's how she works, and it makes her more creative. Some of us are more creative when we've got stuff chucking about on our desks. And we think, ooh, I'll put that on, I'll put that on. Right, I'm now gonna, can you see how that is just the right width to cut in half for 2 pockets and they'll overlap slightly. Bit sad about that butterfly, it's going to be upside down or sideways, but you can't have everything. We're going to have him down there doing a dive bomb. Yeah, so he's a dive bombing butterfly. Now, it doesn't really matter where you cut that. The reason being, one's just going to overlap the other one a little bit. So if I could even put that one there. So I've got a wing there and some music notes. I'm going to have done that. I've done something with this paper. What on earth have I done? That's it. It needs to go sideways. Lordy, I got all confused then. Don't send for men in white coats. I figured it out. I got that one wrong way. I got it skinny way. Silly woman. And I'm going to put those 2 notches in. This time I'll put my bits of paper together because they're thinner. And I know my punch will get through 2 layers. Got to put a little bit of ink on this. I'm only going to put it there so you can see where the pocket is. And I'll put a bit of ink there. Had this been white on the other side, I would have inked everything and put ink behind the pockets and yada yada yada. Right, so just down the edges, go along the bottom if you want to limit the height of that pocket. You can quite often get one tall slim tag in without interfering with what's in other little pocket. It's a bit like, you know, that Tim Holtz slots die, where you've got lots of pockets with, they're all occupying the same space, they're just popping out at different points. I've gone along bottom now, so I've limited my pocket, yeah. So, do as I say, do not do as I do. But I'm sure I'll realise that's a short pocket when I try and stick something in it. Like, oops, that don't fit, does it? No. Why not? Because you were talking and you put glue on it when you shouldn't have. That's about just it. Whee. So yeah, it's reality TV show, Heaven or Hell, depending on how you want to look at it in UK at the minute. We've just had Big Brother. Do like a bit of Big Brother. And we've got Mamma Mia ongoing, and I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here has just started. Yeah, the UK one. Again, some of you are probably thinking, what's she on about? We don't watch that. We don't live in the UK. But we always have a celebrity from America. And this year's American celebrity is... I forgot her name. Is that bad? Jamie Lynn Spears. Britney Spears' sister. I quite like her, actually. She's in a drama that I watch on, I don't know what streaming service. Right, that's that one. So we've done 2. We're on 31 minutes. So I'm not really cooking with gas. I'm not cracking on like Tina does. But I'm going to make one now out of this. Yeah. So this one has got white edges on. So the size is not going to be uniform and perfect, is it? So let's cut the white edges off. Or you can leave them on if you want. I personally don't like it. No, it wouldn't look good on this, would it? Sometimes if you're just putting them in as journal pages, leaving the white edges on is okay. Now I do actually know where this one came from, because it's one of my favourites. It's an either or situation though. It was a kit. Artie Mays did one and Tracy Fox did one. And it was called something herbal. Botanical herbal or something. And they both did a kit each. So I don't know which one this is out of, because I've got them all saved together on my computer. Right, I've folded that again first so I can get the white edges off both sides. Whee. Now you could even, I think I'll make this one with pockets like I showed you, and then I'm going to just do a complete freestyle one. Oh, come back woman, you need to cut it. Right, deciding how high this is going to be. So, my piece of paper is, it's 8 inches high, just like if I were making it with American paper. American paper, yeah. But the width is not 5.5, it's only, sorry, the width is, what would width be in US? So it's 8.5 are yours, isn't it? Not 8. So yeah, it's completely different. Shut up, Julie, you know nothing. Yeah, do as I do this time, not as I say. So I'm going to make this 5.25 inches high and see what occurs. It'll either work or it won't. But even if it don't work as we've done the others, we're going to get something. Well, that's as sure as eggs is eggs. We'll get something, even if it's a pile of scrap paper. So, I'm still going to do this just so you can see. I hope the white paper's not messing with my lighting. It can do at times. So, fold those in again, just short of the crease. Sorry I have to turn it to do it. I can't, I'm not very ambidextrous. I can't do this with my other hand. And as I like to use all the pieces I make in my videos, I like to make them properly. Right, so that's that. Now this piece, yeah, can you see? It's a smidgen short of making that pocket. In fact, actually not that short, is it actually? I think we'll be able to get away with that, you know. So I'm going to ink that. Whee. Lots of wheeze. There we go. And I think then this will look fandabby-dozy. I'm just going to take the merest sliver off there. And it still folds up as a little trifold perfectly, because that's the bit that goes on the inside. Just checking I've not got this upside down or inside out at any point in this process. So we know that is 5 1/4 inches high. So I'm going to put that one on, and I'm going to cut it down to 5 1/4 inches with the other trimmer, because that one only goes up to 4. Whee. I nearly cut it at 4 then. 5 1/4, woman. There we go. Now, I didn't even know if that were going to be right. What time I'd done. Yeah, I've not got a head for numbers or anything today. So that is testament to how easy this is, really. Get a bit more ink on your dauber, missus, because this one really does need inking. Probably make these quicker if you weren't inking any. But like I said, sometimes I like a bit of ink. Sometimes I don't. There we go. So top, down and bottom. I'm saying that to remind me as well as you. If you say what you're going to do before you do it, there's less chance you're doing it wrong. In theory, then say it again as you're doing it, and then there's more chance of you remembering it. There we go. And I stand by that. For practical skills, that is a good way of teaching them, I think. I learn them well like that. There we go. Liking this. I'm going to put another little divot in there. We've established it's not called a divot, it's a thumb notch, but I want to call it a divot today. So, not to be confused with a great chunk of muddy grass. No great chunks of muddy grass in sight. I'm dabbing it like that. Just do that as well. Yep, looking good. And glue just down there and along the bottom. Yeah, I have a lot of people ask where I get things from. I shop mainly Amazon. I'm not putting Amazon links in just to earn commission, because I only link to things that I buy and I like. If I decide I don't like something, I'll tell you, and then I'll take it off the Amazon links. But I tend to use things for a while before I show them to you. I don't like buy something new and go, oh, look what I've got, and then it breaks and I'm like, oh, I've got to tell everyone. I'll use it for a bit first. I suppose it might be as well to tell you when something is rubbish. Like, don't buy it, it's rubbish. I suppose, yeah? Yeah. Right. I'm going to cut. I'm just going to cut that crease bit off. And then I'm going to cut this there. Hang on. If I'm crafty here, I could turn that round, couldn't I? So that is, it's a 1/16 of an inch under 2 3/4. So if I cut that to the same size, 1/16 of an inch under 2 3/4 were it? You just said it and you forgot. 1/16 of an inch under, yes. Oh, yeah. So I don't know if you noticed where my brain went then. That were going to be sideways, and I thought, oh, yeah, it's that way up now. I'm much happier with that. I don't mind some things being sideways, but that one would have annoyed me. But that's what labels are for, isn't it? Stick a label on it. Do both top thumb notches. What are we on? So this is my third one. So it's not really the fastest mask making world, not when you're inking everything. I'm calling... yeah, is 3 a mass make? Yeah. If I get another 2 done and make it 5, I'm really going to call that a mass make. Yeah. But if you want to see the queen of mass makes, bob over and see Tina. Shabby dabby doo dah. Whee. There we go. This ended up being not a lot of waste. We cut that off with the white edges and then we lost a couple of little bits. I can live with that. If it's too big to, if it's too small to go in my scrap bin, I call that a success. I might call this a massish make. Not just a mass make, a mass-ish. Because it is, yeah, multiple make. We made more than one. Pop that one there. Yeah, so there we have 3. Yeah, I think that's... I've got gas on low, but I'm definitely cooking with gas, aren't I? Right, I'm now going to make one with one of my digitals, because I did one and started decorating it for that journal, and I really liked it. So, let's find... I've got some here. Oh, we're going to do a Christmas one, but no, sorry. Those gorgeous Christmas images, they're from the Rach and Bella's Christmas Craft Off 23 kit. I forgot what the actual kit's called. It's definitely Rach and Bella. There's some gorgeous images in it. So yeah, just put that hashtag in and everyone who's taking part will come up. I did one earlier in the month. Right, so yeah, I've put a couple of new free digitals up on my Buy Me a Coffee site. I was just messing and I just did a couple of collaged receipts. Yeah, they're very similar. Yeah, they're actual vintage receipts that I've got and scanned in, and I've just collaged some. I like that one, that's my favourite. In fact, I'll show you something else what I did. Ooh, I printed it on some fabric. Look at the difference in the colour. That is unbelievable. And that is the exact same printer with the exact same settings. Who would have thunk it? That it come out that different. I like it better on that. Oh, it's because it's cream fabric, you daft woman. Just wind back. I might alter this and make it creamier. So I might stick a creamier one up, but I'm going to use that one. Right. So this is A4, but we're going to do it the same. We're going to fold it in half. I mean, you could cut it before you fold it. It might help you with your pockets, then you won't have a little bit to cut off that you've already put a crease in. But this works good for me. I get my knickers in a twist because I like to fold it and visualise then what we're going to have on the front. So when I've tucked that in, that's going to be the front. So do I want that top bit with the pink on and then it be a lot of green, or do I want to have this bottom bit? I think I want that top bit. What did I do on the other one? Oh, that were other digital I used, so it's different. Yeah, so I'm going to cut my bit off the bottom. So I'm going to cut at 5.5 inches from the top. We've established that measurement works for A4 and letter size. So that's that, and that's that. So that will be that. It will all be that. It'll be that. It will, really. Right. A little bit of inking going to occur. Yeah, I think I've spent an awful long time inking. If I'd made all these without inking, it would have been quicker. But it also helps you see my creases. Inky creases show up much better. Right. That's that. But I think it is something that once you've made one or two, you won't need to keep going back and reading instructions or reminding yourself of the measurements. I don't think so anyway, because I have got the memory of an absolute sieve lately. Absolute sieve. I can forget what I'm doing in the middle of doing something. I've always got a good half dozen half-finished jobs around my house every day. Right, I'm going to trim a little bit off that edge. Because remember, we have to with the A4. But we don't mind losing that much, do we? Well, I don't. You might, I don't. I think I want the blue one there, then I can make the middle pockets with the cream. Yeah. Yeah, if I'd not folded that in the first place, I'd have perhaps had a bit more to play with to make the pockets. But I can live with it. Shall I be brave and just use my scissors here? In homage to Tina at Shabby Dabby Doodah. She does everything with great chompy scissors. I'm a lot better with my chompy scissors. And I do remember to use them when I've been watching her. What's that? Yeah, what that woman can't do with a big pair of scissors just doesn't need doing, does it? Whee. Inky creases. There you go on. Gluing. Is that the glue I'm using? Yeah, because it's got no pin in. I do apologise for... Again, I need to write these things down. When will I get it into my head that I have to write everything down now? I mean, I write major things down. But I'm a bugger for thinking I'll remember that, but then I don't. Yes, someone commented on one of my last videos about me not retracting the blade on my craft knife. I'm very naughty. I'm guessing this lady is a nurse or a doctor because she said she's got a lot of experience at dealing with the consequences of people cutting themselves. So I will try harder. I did use my craft knife to open something. And I remembered to retract the blade. I might have got a bit near that crease. I've put that a bit near the crease. So do you know what? Fold it over. Can you see how it's just shoved it? Shoved it up a bit. So get your big chompy scissors back out now. You probably can't even see this. I'm cutting a very slim sliver of cream off from up against. Oh, you can see that bit there. It's blue. There we go. That's better. And I've got to ink that again now because I've cut all my ink off. There we go. Let's ink this edge. I'm being conscious of just inking what I need to now. I can ink rest off camera or as I put them into whatever journals they're going to go into. There we go. So yes, I do apologise for being naughty. I am clumsy. I've said many times that my mum's, well, family nickname for me used to be Frank Spencer. A very accident-prone man from a TV comedy. Some mothers do have them. I know a lot of people mention that they watch a lot of old UK TV on BBC. Yeah, you can watch BBC without TV licence in America. You can't hear. I'm not even going to moan about that. Don't even go there on TV licence. There we go. Oh, that's looking good. And we're going to use that last bit to make some pockets. Now, they're just going to be sideways. There's nothing we can do about it. So maybe, no, it still wouldn't have been, would it? If I'd not got that crease in. Let's measure the gap. Could I have made them? No, because then they wouldn't have been tall enough. That's 5.5. And that is, no, that is just bang on 5.5. So there wouldn't have been any overlap where the pockets go. If you like not having an overlap where the pockets are, that's fine. But I want my overlap. So I'm just going to cut this. I think I'm going to leave that on. I'm going to cut it there where the receipts intersect. And I'm having that one at the top. And I'm going to have that one at the bottom. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Get your hole punch. This is slightly thicker, this. I think I printed this on some thin card. That's another thing. I've got all my card sorted and stored downstairs in what grammage it is and what brand it is. That's just so I can remember what I like and what I don't quite often. But then I ended up putting them back in. I'll have finished printing and it's time to put things away and I'm like, I've no idea what I've just been using. So in a way I need to be untidier downstairs and not put the plastic box away that the card came out of until after I've finished printing. That would be an idea. No, got to be tidier downstairs than in my craft room. Craft room's allowed to be a tip. It looks better. It looks lived in. It looks worked in. It looks like someone's busy all the time, even if you haven't been in it for a week, which rarely happens. I can't remember last time I didn't go in my craft room for a week. And then we're going to glue that one on. So how many have I done? 3 or 4? Not very mass makey there, is it? I think I did 4. I might cheat and put one in from earlier and say I made one more than I did. But then some of you are going to rewind, aren't you, and count and then call me out for telling fibs. So I don't think I will. Have I made 3? 1, 2, 3. That's 4. So we're still under an hour. So I'm going to make one more and I'm going to do it super fast with no ink in and see how quick it can be done. Right, I'm going to get this one back that I didn't use earlier. Right. So, let's see how super quick this can be done. If I shut up talking about twaddle and doing ink. Chopper. I mean, if I had a huge desk, I was stood up and everything were out all the time, I could go hell for leather with these. I think I want to chop off the bottom. Yeah. So 5.5. I know I've got to cut one of these to 5.5, so I'm going to do it now. And I'm going to do that one. I mean, you could just fold up 10, cut 10. You could mix and match all your pockets and everything then, couldn't you, if you're doing a real proper mass make. So, fold it. Tap it, unwrap it. Terry's chocolate orange advert, UK thing. Google it. Tap it, unwrap it. So that's going to fit perfectly. I think I'll have it like that. Glue, glue, glue. I did time myself. It said 51 when I started this. It's now on 53. So I've been going 2 minutes. I'm going to do that just because I don't want it to go past that crease. Oh, there were loads of room for that. Perfect. I just need to trim a little bit off there actually. There we go. That is the perfect width. I'm going to cut that one there. That's going to be the top of that pocket, and that the top of that. Notch them. Glue the sides. I don't think I've even glued that one yet, have I? No. I've done it in a different order because I can. gone quiet now, and I've gone, see, if I'm trying to do it quick and not waffle, it's quick and concentrate, I just can't speak. I can't talk. That'd be a boring video, wouldn't it? I'd have to crack some music on. But no, I won't be doing that. I'll still be talking, don't panic. I just wanted to see how quick I could do one if I shut up. I think by now the old people are like, God, that woman just doesn't stop talking. They'll have gone now, won't they? So we're not really missing them, are we? No, we're not. Horses for courses, isn't it? I like to listen to YouTube a lot rather than watch it. Which now sounds... Well, I know a lot of people say the exact same thing to me, though. While I'm crafting, I like to listen. And I like to... If it goes quiet, I'll look up and it distracts me from what I'm doing. And I'm like, what's happened? Has my internet gone off? Has my battery gone? Have I lost charge? No, the person's just gone quiet. I don't think there's any danger of that happening when you're listening to me. So we're on 56 now. So that took me 5 minutes. And I still managed to talk. So what on earth were you doing for the 55 minutes, woman? You only made 4. You made 4 in 55 minutes and then 1 in 5 minutes. Crazy lady. Crazy lady. So, I'm not decorating them with you. Told you I weren't. Showed you how I decorated that one. It was dead easy. Cut a tag to the right size. that sounds really patronising now. I'm going to shut up. Yeah, you may have ephemera from the kit that the paper you're working with, and that's what you might want to put in it. Some people like to put folded up paper tucked in so it can be journaled on. Everyone's different. So that's what we've done. We've made 5. I'm going to call that a mass make. That's successful. Yeah, not as massy as Tina, so Tina's massier than I am. I'm not going to be putting that on a t-shirt anytime soon. Anyway, I really hope you've enjoyed it. And yeah, crack on, check Tina out, and I'll see you next time. Bye.